Hi there, Andrew Bell with you again, and here we are at the end of the first quarter of 2017. You can certainly see this year is going to disappear at an incredibly fast pace. It's our lead-up year to the Commonwealth Games, and we're only days away from celebrating the official one-year mark to the opening ceremony. Today, I want to address an issue that all Gold Coasters should have an input on. To do that, there are two factual pieces of information that supports much of the opinions and speculations that are floating around about the Gold Coast property market. First, everyone is of the opinion that the Gold Coast is the #1 property market for 2017. Well, to support that, we can report, as the largest real estate office in Queensland, and therefore, of course, the largest real estate office on the Gold Coast, that we've recorded the highest volume and the highest dollar value of sales ever in our company for the month of January, again for February, and now again in March. Collectively, this has been the biggest quarter of real estate activity and prices in our company's 28-year history. The significance of that is not just a one-off, 3 consecutive months of records, and so reflects the consistent strength in the property market. The second factual statistic was the results of our last in-room auctions, where some 16 properties went to auction, resulting 75% selling prior to, leaving only 4 auctions to sell, and 2 of those are almost sold. Now, this is reflecting the highest percentage success rate for an in-room auction anywhere in the country, and the highest level for a 10+ auction event in the coast's history. These are real clear signs that there is great strength in the Gold Coast market. Yes, I acknowledge that our company is getting better results than any other real estate company, but you can't deny that it is also a reflection of the strength of the Gold Coast property market. Now, what I want to profile today is a very significant development proposal here on the Gold Coast, and community feedback is being sought about this development. Part of the development application process. I'm referring to the development of the vacant land between SeaWorld car park and our fishing trawlers base at Main Beach along the Spit. ASF, the development company, a $3 billion integrated resort, which would be a huge turbocharge for the Gold Coast. If you have a think back, it's been at least a decade since we've had any significant infrastructure of this. As usual, on so many fronts in the community, there is a massive indifference to things of significance in our community. It's often a very small minority that get to vocalise their passions, and somehow this leaves an impression. This is what the great majority think. This is a community consultative process and a genuine attempt to get a much broader based representation of what the Gold Coast community thinks about this development. It is important that everyone carefully analyse it and voices their opinion. I encourage you to provide your feedback. For what it's worth, can I suggest that the Spit neglected part of the Gold Coast for a long period of time. It's clearly 2 distinct sections. The northern end, which is open space, that's largely been the domain of backpackers and the occasional visit by a Gold Coaster for a Sunday afternoon drive. Or government have ever invested any money into developing into the great outdoor space it could be. Now, the southern end is where some development has occurred, and some beautiful assets such as the Sheraton Hotel, Versace World and Marina Mirage shopping centres have been provided for the Gold Coast to stimulate the Gold Coast economy in so many ways. I believe it's a win-win with a balance between development and open space. I believe it can be enhanced further with this disused parcel of land being used for further economic stimulus within this precinct of development. Money from this development can then be channelled into the improvement of the open space to the northern end. ASF proposed development is less than 3% of the total Spit landmass. From my perception, there are some enormous benefits for the Gold Coast, and they include world-class infrastructure assets such as an iconic multiple 5- and 6-star hotels, signature restaurants, theatres, new shows and entertainment, luxury boutique retail precinct, and service residence and conference facilities. This would be an icon that would bring so much additional business to the Gold Coast. There'll be 4,100 construction jobs during the 5-year construction phase, and an estimated 9,100 permanent jobs when fully operational. It's 9,000 jobs for Gold Coasters. It's also projected it will generate an additional 2.1 million visitor nights on the Gold Coast. Can you imagine the flow-on benefits to everybody from transport companies, retailers, restaurants, and just about every other major business house of the Gold Coast? This will stimulate so many additional jobs in other Gold Coast businesses. The big issue for many of us is the impact on transportation. An integral part of, and certainly for this development, is improving traffic. We already know the congestion that happens as a result of SeaWorld every afternoon, and so as part of the proposal, there's a two-stage traffic plan. The first includes delivery of crossing over the Broadwater and improvements to intersection and upgrades to walking and cycling tracks, as well as encouraging public transport. There's over $100 million investment in addressing the traffic issue. First stage. Now the second stage includes road upgrades from the Gold Coast Highway to the North Street, and of course the extension of light rail and a ferry service. So as I say, this is a proposal that every Gold Coaster at large should be back on. We can't have all the things we want as a city without accommodating these types of a development to keep securing our city for the future. Thank you for your time this week, and I will look forward to more news field within a fortnight's time. See you then.